Welcome to The Explainer. We're always told to climb the ladder slowly, right? Work hard, pay your dues. Well, forget all that. Today, we are building a step-by-step roadmap for grabbing maximum power as quickly as possible. And we're going to be drawing on principles from some of the most, let's just say, effective strategists in history.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. This whole roadmap starts with one core idea that pretty much challenges everything we're taught about success. This single thought from Robert Greene really sets the stage. The most direct path to power often means you have to make a radical break from what we think of as conventional morality. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll cover the unspoken rules of the game. Then, we'll walk through the 4 big steps: adopting the right mindset, controlling appearances, building your power base, and finally, acting decisively. And we'll wrap it all up with a final thought on what this all really means.
First things first, we have to get one thing crystal clear. All that typical advice we get about how to get ahead, be honest, be your authentic self, work hard and wait for your turn, a lot of that directly conflicts with the actual mechanics of how power is won in the real world. Now, this slide is where it really hits you. Just look at the contrast. On the left, you've got all the nice, comforting ideals we're told to live by. But on the right, that's the cold, pragmatic reality. The path to rapid power means you stop waiting in line. You have to create your own turn, and you do that by mastering the game of appearances and what you choose to hide. So, step 1, and this is so important. This entire journey doesn't begin with an action. It begins with a shift inside your own head. Before you can act powerfully, you have to think powerfully. It means totally recalibrating how you see the world and your place in it.
So the first crucial mental flip is to redefine what virtue even means. Just forget about moral goodness for a second. Instead, adopt Machiavelli's concept of virtue. All that means is a ruthless focus on being effective. It's about skill, it's about ability, and it's about the sheer will to impose your vision on reality. It isn't about being good, it's about being good at what you do.
But adopting this mindset brings you face to face with a major hurdle, what's called the authenticity paradox. We have this deep-seated belief that we have to be our true selves. But as researcher Herminia Ibarra points out, sticking to your old, authentic self can be a trap. It actually stops you from adopting the new, maybe more calculated behaviors you need to take on a more powerful role. Growth feels unnatural at first. That's just part of the deal. And this is just a brilliant illustration of that danger. This manager thought that by being vulnerable, she'd build a connection with her team. Instead, it just projected weakness. Her team didn't need her authentic insecurity. They needed a leader who projected confidence, whether she was feeling it or not. The needs of the situation were more important than her need to feel genuine.
Let's move to the next step, which builds right on top of the first. Once your mindset is focused on effectiveness, you have to project that strength externally. This means mastering the art of perception, because in the game of power, what is seen is almost always more important than what is real.
So why does this work so well? Well, it's because deep down, we're all a bit mentally lazy. Our brains are hardwired to take shortcuts, and the easiest shortcut is to just believe that what we see is what's really going on. I mean, can you imagine questioning every little thing all day long? It would be totally exhausting. Power players know how to exploit this fundamental bug in our human psychology. And this is how you turn that insight into a weapon. You create a decoy, a fake objective that you pretend to be chasing with everything you've got. While your rivals and everybody else are busy watching that, fixated on your public goal, you are completely free to go after your real objective, totally unseen. Misdirection is a cornerstone of getting ahead fast.
Okay, mindset and perception are critical, but they aren't enough. True power requires tangible levers. We're talking assets, alliances, resources that are loyal only to you and that you can use to actually exert force on the world around you.
Machiavelli was absolutely obsessed with this point. He argued that mercenaries, basically hired help, are useless because their only loyalty is to a paycheck. Auxiliaries, so borrowed forces, are even worse because their real loyalty is to somebody else. The only reliable foundation for your power is a force that you built yourself, and that is loyal directly and only to you. And you can see this principle in brutal action with Machiavelli's prime example, Cesare Borgia. He didn't try to win with borrowed forces. He built his own power base from the ground up by systematically destroying the old structures and replacing them with new ones loyal only to him. Every single move he made was designed to eliminate his reliance on other people.
Another crucial lever isn't an army at all, but reputation. This quote from Baron de Rothschild perfectly illustrates it. The appearance of power, which you can get just by associating with powerful people, is itself a resource. Being seen with the right people opens doors and creates opportunities that would otherwise be completely shut.
And now, the final step. You've got the mindset, you control how you're perceived, and you've built your levers of control. The very last piece is to act with such overwhelming speed and decisiveness that your opponents are just paralyzed. They can't react until it's already too late.
New York's master builder, Robert Moses, was an absolute genius at this. He would start these massive construction projects before he even got full approval or all the funding. And why? Because he understood a simple truth. It is psychologically and politically way harder to tear down a half-finished bridge than it is to stop it from ever being started in the first place. He created facts on the ground.
So here's the crucial, if difficult, point. To achieve that kind of speed, you often have to be ruthless. Machiavelli argues that you shouldn't be afraid of getting a reputation for cruelty. A swift, calculated act that solidifies your power and prevents future chaos is, in his view, actually more merciful than the kind of weakness that lets disorder fester. It's a chilling but really potent justification for decisive action.
So there you have it, the 4-step roadmap to rapid power. Adopt the mindset of effectiveness, control appearances, build your own loyal power base, and then act with decisive, overwhelming speed. But this path is not without its consequences.
This entire roadmap has focused on the how, the nuts and bolts, the mechanics of a swift and brutal ascent. But it has deliberately ignored the why, and maybe more importantly, at what cost. Following these steps might get you the power you want, but the final unavoidable question is one that only you can answer. Was the prize worth the person you had to become to win it?